Okay, so did you get your career plans in line? Are you uh, educated well enough? Do you have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted? Do you have your plans for your retirement in line and in order? Really, thinking ahead. If you do, that's awesome. That's great. You should do that. Even the Bible teaches that you're a fool if you don't consider what you know is coming in the future. What possibilities you know can happen if you don't protect yourself. I mean, even the animals, when they know winter is coming, the squirrels better gather all their nuts so that they can last through the winter. I mean, it only makes sense. It's only logical. Okay, but here's where I'm amazed. I am totally amazed at the fact that people are so focused on those things of the earth, of this life in the world, which are temporary. Yes, don't get me wrong, they are very important, but what they don't focus on or even consider is what's going to happen after this. Eternity is going to happen, whether you like it or not. Everybody knows they're going to die. Everybody knows this life is temporary on earth. And you worry about things like the future of your retirement, which makes sense, of course, but you don't worry about things like, in your nest egg and stuff, but you don't worry about what's going to happen after that. And you know for sure, that it's coming. It's the one thing you can count on for sure. That your death is eventually coming. No one on earth throughout history has ever been able to cheat death and live forever on this earth. Only Jesus Christ, but he, even after he cheated death, according to all of the documentation, he even left this earth and ascended into heaven in his resurrected bodily form. Clearly written throughout the scriptures. It's he was documented by over 500 witnesses. He was seen by over 500 witnesses. This was all documented. That he was in his resurrected body. It was a literal body. He wasn't just a ghost, like some people speculate. The disciples ate food with him. He was alive and walking on this earth in his resurrected body for 40 days before he ascended into heaven. This is all documented in the scriptures. So, he even left the earth, but he resurrected. He cheated death. He was resurrected from the dead, but he's the only person throughout history ever. We know we're going to die. And I'm amazed. I am totally amazed that no one seems to care about their eternal destination. What's going to happen to them after. People are just so happy and about the life they have now, or they're so content with the plans they've made, and you know what, they should be. People should be. But that does not mean you're done. Oh, I got my plans all set I'm fine for after I retire. I got a nest egg built up and blah, blah, blah. You know what? You're not done. What's going to happen after that? The reason I'm saying this, and I'm not giving you any specifics at this point as to what you need to consider or how you need to consider it or where you need to look for the answers. I do have all of those answers, and I could direct you and counsel you on these things. But the reason I'm only bringing this up right now is to point out that you need to wonder. You at least need to be curious. You know what the starting point needs to be for you in your heart? It needs to be that you need to develop a hunger and a thirst for the truth. You need to be a truth seeker. Just like when you're trying to figure out how you're going to make your nest eggs for when you retire. Just like, when you try to figure out how you need to develop your career strategy or whatever for the future. Just like that, you have a natural hunger and a thirst to try to find the answers, and you investigate and you find it out until you get it all together and you make the plans. Why do you think you don't need that for the afterlife? Because you know it's going to happen. And that's why I'm amazed. Everybody knows it's going to happen, and nobody seems to care. I shouldn't say nobody. There's a lot of people that do care. But I guess my message is going out to those people who don't care and don't consider it. They're happy just being with the people that they're with right now temporarily. And they think that they're set for life, for eternity. What? No. You're going to die, and something is going to happen to you after that. What? And what do you need to do to make sure you're going to be okay? Because at that point, according to the scriptures and many other documentations around the world, this is whatever happens is going to last for eternity. You're going to be at that eternal destination without even a chance for parole. You're never going to be able to come back from it. Don't you think that you need to know what's up with that? I mean, really. Come on. And here's what you need to do. The first point that you need to do, the first starting place with this particular strategy, you need to call out outside of yourself, because you don't have the power to cheat death or to handle your own eternal destination. You don't have the power for that. Nobody does. You need to call outside of yourself. By the way, that's called prayer. You need to call outside of yourself to the living God and creator of the universe. I know a lot of you don't believe it, don't believe in him. But you know what? You have no confirmation about what you do believe. There's no confirmation that we came from the Big Bang or evolution. And I'll tell you, there's a whole plethora of, arguments against it that proves it cannot possibly be true. No, you're not considering that. You're blowing that off, and you're just happy with it, and you're fine with it. But the truth is, you don't know. You don't know. And there is no true, definite confirmation about the living God with you. Is there a creator? Was there a creator? Was there an intelligence before the physical? Because evolution in the Big Bang teaches the physical was first and led to the intelligence and the consciousness and the life. Okay, well, that's one theory. It's actually a theory that doesn't even make an ounce of sense. Life cannot come from physical. Physical was not first. What was first was the conscious intelligence, the life. Anyway, that's where we're coming from when we try to say it. So, where are you atheists coming from when you say, oh, that's not true? You weren't there. You don't know if that's not true. You have no confirmation about what you believe. You just want to avoid even considering any other possibilities. You think you're so right, as if you were there and you weren't there. You don't know. You just have a theory that you dogmatically cling to as if it was true. And you do not know if it was true. You have no confirmation of that. So why don't you consider the other possibility that maybe the physical wasn't first? Especially because that really makes no sense. It really makes no sense. The physical came from somewhere. And it came from an intelligent designer and creator that existed first. Just like all of the inventions of man. You want to invent a car? You don't just throw a bunch of car parts out there and hope that they're eventually going to form and come together. No. You intelligently design it and create it. All of our inventions, every single one of them. The intelligence came first. You're trusting in and believing in crazy fantasy. It doesn't even make any logical sense. And the theories you have are not observable or provable, which, by the way, is the definition of science, that which is observable and provable. They're just fantasies that you just want to dogmatically cling to. And call everybody else who believes otherwise, dreamers and fantasy believers. But you're the real fantasy believers. Start thinking of your eternity and call out to the only, if there's any hope, you have to call outside yourself. You do not have enough data in your mind to understand what the final destination is going to be. So if there's going to be any hope of you finding out and understanding it, you have to call out yourself. Now at this point, I want to quote a scripture. Jeremiah 29:13. You can look it up. I urge you to actually. Look it up. Jeremiah 29:13. It says, "Ye shall seek me and find me. Ooh. When ye shall search for me with all your heart. And then I will be found of you, saith the Lord." Wow. Right there, that's proof. That's telling you have to call outside yourself. You have to call to the living God. You have to search with all your heart. It doesn't say with all of your resources, such as, for example, the proper, so-called self-proclaimed experts, people, or the correct schools, or the correct books. No, it doesn't say with all your resources. It says with all your heart. The desire for the truth has to be that strong. Those of you who are dogmatically clinging to theories such as evolution and Big Bang and whatever, you have no confirmation and you're not searching for the truth. You are just dogmatically clinging to what you already are dogmatically believing, without proof, without confirmation. Okay? It's irrational. It's irrational. It's illogical. So you need to make sure that your eternal destination is prepared also. Not just your life, because this is temporary. This is not going to let, I don't care how great your plans are on this earth. Yeah, you could have a wonderful life here on this earth because you make great plans, but it's still going to end eventually, and you know that. Everyone knows that. Then what? What's going to happen? Get that desire for the truth in your heart and search for it with all your heart. And you say, well, where am I going to look? Am I going to ask a priest? Am I going to ask a pastor? Am I going to read a book? Or what? What? Well, here's where you start. Jeremiah 29:13. With all your heart. Call out. Call outside of yourself. Because think of it this way. If I know that a lot of you are atheists and agnostics, but think about this. If God does exist, if I'm right and the intelligence was what was first, not the physical, if he is there, if he did create the universe, if intelligence was first, then of course he's there. So call out to him. If he's not there, then you won't get an answer. How's that? How's that for a test? Science, that which is testable and provable and observable. I mean, come on. How's that for a test? Call out to him. But see, when you do, make sure your heart is sincere. Just like it says in Jeremiah 29:13. Seek for him with all your heart. Make sure your heart is sincere. You really want to know. And you're really at that point when you're calling out to him, you really are believing that he is possibly there. God understands if you don't believe 100% yet. He totally understands that. Scripture backs that up. The way he dealt with his disciples and so forth, and other people that he talked to. It's proof positive that he understands. He's not going to criticize you if you don't have the faith. You're not. It's ridiculous to have faith when you don't have enough evidence. It really is ridiculous, even from a Christian standpoint. Take that, you atheists. Even from a Christian standpoint, it is ridiculous to have faith. Oh, I believe. You know, like, what is that? Like the Wizard of Oz. If you believe really hard and tap your slippers 3 times, you're going to go home. I mean, come on. No. God understands. You need more proof. He totally understands. So, in fact, you know what I did? And many other Christians have done? This was years ago. Years and years ago for me. I really wanted to know what the truth was. I would look out at this world and I would see the sky and the mountains and the stars, sun, and moon, and the animals and everything else in this world. And I would think, where in the heck did it come from? Including us, where did we come from? How did this all get here? And I really needed to know that. Where was our beginning? See, that's what I'm talking about. Hunger and thirst in your heart. I really needed to know that. So what I did was I called out. I said, and here's what I said. And I know many other Christians have said this too. Lord or God, whatever you want to say, I don't even know for sure if you exist. I don't even know if you are real. But if you are, then please reveal the truth to me. Reveal yourself to me if you're real. And you know what? He did lead me to the truth. It took time. It takes time. He does it through various experiences in your life, and he definitely does it through his word, the Bible, but he does it through a lot of different ways. But he does lead you to the truth if you're sincere. That's how you take care of your eternal destination. That's how you take care of that which is unknown, that which you cannot see, but you know is going to happen. You know it's coming. That's how you take care of it. You use your heart and you call out to the living God, even if you're not even 100% sure if he exists yet. He will answer you. If you search for him with all your heart, he will be found of you. He promises that in the scriptures. It is written.